welcome to the show. We start this week's Failrace episode with Indy Brony on GTA 5, racing on a custom stunt track. Now, this involves cars rushing towards them and they're driving the Dakar trucks. Things go wrong for the player we're following. Hits a ramp car, manages to land perfectly along, well, kind of perfectly along. Lands on the top, is balanced along the top of the truck they are racing. Spin off the front, spin in front, another ramp truck comes along. I mean, it's an overtake. It was a rather convoluted overtake, but it was an overtake nevertheless, so I guess that works. We stick with GTA 5 and some of the less than exciting delivery missions. Yes, if you played there's just a lot of driving around sometimes with GTA missions, and, well, sometimes you end up farting around a little bit too much. Yes, we've all done this, where you clonk somebody over and then the mission fails because you were being a bit of a muppet. The thing is, this one ends rather strangely because the person had got in the other car, and as the game, well, sorts itself out, it launches the person out of the car. We have a super slow-mo to check because it's really, really quick. What happens is a person falls out, flings across, I guess teleporting back to where they're supposed to be, taking out the Mini along the way. In fact, it hits them so hard, the Mini's door falls off in all of that. Yeah, less than helpful. Up next, we have Mooing Cow Milk on the Run Classic. I haven't played this game in a very, very long time, but I do remember this one. I don't remember the vehicle being launched to orbit, however. Yes, apparently, if you hit the little level crossing, you can get fired to orbit. Then more weirdness goes on. They end up, I guess, at the edge of the map or something along those lines. Something's quite unhappy, though, because that's not what's supposed to have happened with the game, is it now? That's a little bit broken. Yeah, I presume not gone well there. The Rat God up next on Saints Row the Third has got a tank and is causing chaos. I mean, if you have a tank, you're generally going to. The thing is, there is something stronger than a tank. I don't know what it is, but it's strong enough to really upset the tank. Now, it kind of looks like in some ways to me as if one of the vehicles was shooting some ridiculously powerful bullets that hit the tank and started spinning it, but once it started spinning, there is no stopping this tank. It is going to spin. And it is going to spin. It's stuck in a tree currently, but it's still spinning. Well, stuck in a tree, it's bouncing around, and now we're spinning on the top, I think, rather than on the nose as it was. Something's got a laser cannon. I don't really know what's going. I don't really understand Saints Row. Regardless, things are going quite mad. It's still going wrong. They actually eventually end up falling out of the tank. You can't get back in the tank when it's doing that. There's no way that's going to work. The homie goes down. They go and grab a vehicle to try and just get away, survive or something along these lines, still getting shot to pieces as they try to drive. They drive over to investigate the tank, I think out of curiosity. Tank beats minivan a little bit and then they get shot. Yeah, I don't even know on that one. Speaking of haunted vehicles, however, we're on Beam at RJB with a Buggy. Now, quite how the Buggy ended up over here, I don't know. But what I do know is the Buggy's unhappy. So it currently is working. It's stuck upside down, freaking out, doing a merry little dance around the place. Not really what you want. Now, my presumption with what causes this is some level, something broke by the looks of it, the wheel, and a bit of texture, a bit of vehicle is stuck somewhere, and the game doesn't know quite how to process it. The engine was running. It does die at this point. And this is quite a long clip, as there's various attempts to recover the Buggy and get it to be some sort of normal. It's trying to grab something on the bottom of it. It doesn't matter. It's now going to go off to space for reasons, I guess. I'm not quite sure of the reasons, but because of reasons, it's gone off to space. It lands on a rail. It's not even like it's falling properly. Like, it's not falling as quickly as you would expect. It's very, very unhappy. They get it free for a little bit, continue to mess around with the Buggy slightly, and it's like it gets released, it goes to go back down, and then we're back upwards again, and then we're going to twist, and I don't know. As I said, I presume a bit of vehicle structure is stuck somewhere and the game can't quite process it, but I've never quite seen a freak out in this particular manner. It's a very peculiar one, but there we go. Jonatron on Beam as well. Now, this is with an automation vehicle. You know, minding their business, testing it out, going for a bit of a speedy drive along a coast road when things go a bit wrong. Tries to shoot the gap, gets it a bit wrong, clips the cover, can't get it back under control, and then the front wheels both fall off at exactly the same time. The suspension failed as it went over, there was a bump in the grass, and I guess when it failed, it must lose all the wheels at the front. A Great British Wheel also on Beam with a monster truck, managing to get very well balanced. Now, we don't quite know how the crash started in this one, but we do know the end result. And that is a monster truck wedged on a fence. And now the thing with the monster truck, of course, the tyres are so big and there's so much power and you can get sort of so much movement going on from those tyres. It does manage to wiggle its way off of the fence and come back down. Still very well done for managing to balance it there. A Sonic goes on V-Rally 4 with one of the hill climb cars, just turns in a little bit too soon, clips the inside rock, and now we have a balanced BMW. I hope somebody has a great idea, because this, unlike the monster truck, is not going to be moving from there anytime soon. I guess there's a reset button somewhere, but that's quite well parked. That's quite well parked, quite well wedged, and not going to be going anywhere fast. Race Freak is up next on Project Cars 2. Now, first lap at Hockenheim, coming towards the hairpin. You know there's probably going to be some trouble. And they do the sensible thing. They try and stay out of the trouble as best as possible. They get a little bit of a clock. Behind a Porsche goes for a roll, and I thought that was going to be it. However, no, they try to rejoin the circuit. They get a little tap from the side, and then the game doesn't know what to do. It fires their car through the floor, and everything's broken. Sometimes you can do everything in your power to stay out of trouble, and then the game decides to punish you. And finally, we have Victor on Battlefield 4, is a passenger in a tank. They're having a fight. Go to drive across a bridge. I guess the bridge visually was there, but actually not quite there. It's a sneaky ghost bridge. It's some impressive tactics, I have to say, from the enemies. You have this holographic bridge. There we go. It's advanced warfare tactics. Either way, the tank's stuck. It is slightly floating, which is unusual for a tank. We've got hover tanks. I wish we were playing Halo here. Maybe they're playing Halo. I don't know. What I do know is tanks not supposed to fall through a bridge. Also not supposed to hover. It's a cacophony of weirdness, pretty much. But there we go. That is going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description at the very top of the page is the Failrace clip submission section, and in there you can find all of the rules and how to submit them. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.